Good morning. It's Friday the 16th, no, the 15th of February, the day after Valentine's Day. And I woke up this morning and committed a crime against novel writing, which was that for the first hour of the day, from about 6 o'clock through till close to 7 o'clock, I finished working on a song that I was working on yesterday, which felt fun and it was in my head, so I wanted to finish it off. But then it meant I lost an hour from the morning of writing, which was silly in regards to the novel, but I actually did still do a really good bout of writing. I just did it in a more compressed way. So what I did was I finished. I to start the morning, I went back over some of the writing that I had done yesterday on this opening component of the monologue. I couldn't. It's not that I couldn't help myself. It's just that I felt like I had to get my head back into the space. So I read that component, and then I made some really good cuts from that. I cut about 200 or 300 words out of that component, and what I cut were parts that felt very heavy, very morose, which is not at all the tone of the book. It's not. I mean, it's meant to have a particular level of seriousness, I guess, but not in that morose way that I felt that particular component had dwelled into. So I fixed that. I worked on that and made it feel better, which then reminded me of how the book should feel. And how the book should feel is interesting and stimulating and ever-changing, which is what happens sometimes when you cut words out. Is you get to put the best parts together, and I think that spirit of editing is probably the message for the morning, because when I went on to then write the next component, which was going to be the beach surgery narrative component, I had it in my mind that I was going to just write it from scratch instead of repurposing old sections, which I'd mentioned a few days ago I was going to avoid. But when I had a look at what I had previously written a couple of days ago, when I was repurposing the prose from the first version of Beach Surgery for this new novel, it was really good. Like, I really liked it. It was a good sort of repurposing, and I thought I could either be really strict and keep to the plan that I was thinking of for this section, which were 14 separate components of around 500 words each, and instead, if I use these passages that I'd previously written, I'm going to be not only increasing that 14 component number to 15, because I'm not going to be saying things as succinctly, so I need to add another section, but I'll also be expanding the length of those sections. So rather than being 500 word components, there'll be 1,000. But I thought it's fine. It's not in the span of a 300 page or so novel. I know, and if you say that about every component, that an extra 500 words, what does it matter? But suddenly you've doubled a 300 page novel into a 600 page novel. But like I mentioned a moment ago, the message of the morning is editing, and you just put the words down now. They're good words. I'm not disappointed in them at all. They're just a little more than I thought I was going to put down. It says what I want them to say. The repurposing of the text actually carries really nicely for this section. I'm not going to do it for subsequent sections, but I felt like I had to start the novel, or start this particular component of the monologue, with some bigger explanations of things that came about through what I'd written. So it all works, And I just need to keep that mindset of it's the editing that pulls everything together and makes it what it needs to be. Filming a movie, film more than you need and edit it down to make it work. Music, just get the notes on the page, organise and arrange and cut and sequence things later. With this, it's the same. Put the words on the page, don't triple caution as to whether particular blocks of text should be particular sizes. Just get the words down and do some of that editing later within reason. I mean, the reason that I'm thinking and talking like this is because I know that the success of the book, in part, is because of the way that I am being very vigilant in thinking and sequencing and talking about things in this way that is very precise and very focused on what it needs to be. But it can't be so much that it stops the progress of the novel. So I'm really happy with what I've got. The opening of monologue 3 is actually looking really good now, and I'm still, I mean, I need to say that out loud to make it true, because I think I am still critically, I'm being too critical on what I've written, but it's actually, it's good. And the other thing that's interesting, I've been recording each day, as you know, for a few weeks now. And if I were to go back and look at last year, when I started to fumble and falter and not maintain the daily schedule, I think it would have been around this time, and I'm going to go back in a second and see exactly when it was, but it was certainly only, if not now, a week or two out from now, when I stopped being when I stopped doing daily writing and recording. And I know part of that was about lifestyle and about not being as committed to the daily schedule as need be. And, you know, I mean, I know I went, I had lots of travel and things that then knocked me around. But part of it, and maybe the biggest part really, is that I just lost a momentum and had a particular critical burnout in some way of the story that stopped it going forward. And I need to be very careful to not let that happen again. Again, it's all balance. If the novel is not worth continuing on with, then I need to make that call at some point. But that's certainly not what I'm feeling now. I love it. I want it to be created and to result in what it needs to be. But I just have to be very careful to keep on track. Words every day. Don't pause. And I've teetered dangerously close to the precipice in the past week by rewriting and stopping some of the momentum of build-up. Even this morning was dangerous, making music instead of writing. It's been a busy few weeks where I've been travelling each week. This weekend is another beautiful free weekend with no travel in the week ahead. So I just need to really commit to creating tomorrow. I'm looking forward to writing in the morning and creating further sections of prose. I wrote brand new prose for a component this morning that I really like. It was slim. There's only like 300 words or something, but it was new and good, and is going to set the tone for what now comes next. So good things are coming. All this critical reflection is what I need to massage the heart of the novel and keep it beating and keep the blood flowing. And I will be back here in the story chair again tomorrow morning. I hope you have a good Friday, the 15th of February, 2019.